So you're thinking about the 2026 Ford Mustang Mach-E. Awesome, you're in the right place. But I've got to tell you, we need to talk about more than just the car itself. Because right now, in this crazy EV market, the biggest decision you're going to make isn't about horsepower or trim levels, it's about timing. Let's get right into why.
Right. Before we even get to the cool new features or how fast this thing is, we have to talk about some very real and, frankly, very urgent financial deadlines. These deadlines could literally be the one thing that decides whether the Mach-E is the right car for you right now.
And this is the number that changes the whole game. $7,500. That's the federal tax credit that has been a massive, massive carrot for EV buyers. But here's the catch, and it is a big one. It's about to disappear, and way, way sooner than almost anyone saw coming.
Now look at this timeline closely. This isn't a slow phase-out, it's a cliff. The federal program just stops on October 1st, 2025. I mean, if you get your qualifying EV on September 30th, great, you get the credit. One day later, that $7,500 is just gone. And if you're somewhere like Washington State, you've got a double whammy, with your state tax break ending even sooner. The pressure is on.
Okay, so how does this actually hit a Mach-E buyer? Well, it's a little tricky. The Mach-E itself doesn't always qualify for a direct purchase credit because of battery rules. But Ford found this really clever workaround. They claim what's called a commercial credit, and then pass that same $7,500 saving on to you as lease cash. It's been a huge deal. But here's the crucial part. When that federal program dies, the lease cash dies with it, and that could mean your monthly payment jumps by hundreds of dollars, literally overnight. All right, now that we've got that financial bombshell out of the way, let's actually talk about the car. The 2026 model is what's called a mid-cycle refresh, so not a ground-up redesign, but a bunch of little tweaks and changes to keep things fresh. The real question is, are all these changes actually for the better?
You know, from the outside, you're not going to see a world of difference. A few minor tweaks here and there. The really big changes are on the inside. Ford ditched that pretty popular rotary gear dial for a stock. The main software got an update. And yeah, more features like their Blue Cruise hands-free driving are moving to a subscription. Oh, and for now, it's still shipping with a CCS port, but they do throw a NACS adapter in the box, which is good.
And yeah, this quote pretty much sums up how some people feel about these changes. That new gear stock in particular has gotten a lot of heat. The folks at Transport Evolved did not mince words. Calling it unpleasant is pretty blunt. And look, it might seem like a small detail, but it's something you literally touch every single time you get in the car.
The tech inside has also been a bit of a sore spot. I mean, that huge center screen is still a showstopper, but reviewers have pointed out that it just feels slow, like it's low on memory. You're trying to switch from music to nav, and the whole system kind of stutters and pauses. In a car this modern, that can get pretty frustrating fast.
So keeping those updates in mind, let's get to the fun part. Which Mach-E is the one for you? Because Ford is offering a few different flavors, and each one has its own distinct personality.
First up, you've got the Select. This is your everyday workhorse, your solid entry-level model. It's not going to have that face-melting speed of the other trims, but for what you get, it's considered one of the best values in its class. Plenty of space, solid performance, perfect for daily life.
And then you have the GT. This is the one built for pure performance. I mean, just look at this shot of it being tested by the Michigan State Police. It's built to be driven hard. This is the one for the driver who craves that instant, silent, electric punch of acceleration.
And man, this quote just nails the whole vibe of the GT. Some EVs, they can feel a little managed by the computer, a little tame. Not the GT. The power's right there. You ask it to go, and it just goes. No hesitation. You are absolutely in charge. But, and this is a big theme in modern cars, the absolute peak performance is locked behind a paywall. The hardware, the motors, it's all already in the car. But if you want to unlock its full potential and shave about half a second off your 0 to 60 time, you have to pay extra for a software update. It's a really controversial trend, and it's here to stay. So, if the GT is for the street, the Rally is for the adventure. Think of the GT like a track star. It wants smooth pavement, it's got those massive wheels with tiny slivers of rubber, and a really firm ride. The Rally, on the other hand, it's different. It gets smaller wheels, but with bigger, beefier tires. That gives it a much more comfortable, more forgiving ride, and it just feels so much more at home on a twisty, imperfect back road.
Okay, let's zoom back out, because picking a car today isn't just about the car. You really have to think about the whole ecosystem it lives in, everything from the charging network to its biggest, baddest competition.
This has got to be one of the most common questions people have, especially with the whole industry moving over to Tesla's NACS plug. So, what's the story with the 2026 Mach-E?
You know, here's the most important takeaway. The Mach-E still has a CCS port, but that NACS adapter they give you, it does not slow down your charging on a Tesla supercharger. That's a myth. Honestly, for the next few years, no matter what car you buy, you're probably going to want an adapter for the other plug type just to have all your options open. The type of plug is way less of an issue right now than where the plug is physically located on the car.
And of course, you knew it was coming. You cannot have a conversation about the Mach-E without bringing up its biggest rival, the Tesla Model Y. And when you look at the base models side by side, it is a really tight race. The Mach-E starts at a lower price, which is great, but the Model Y does squeak by with better efficiency and a little more horsepower right out of the gate.
But here, this is a massive difference. And for a ton of people, this is an absolute deal breaker. The Mach-E comes standard with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so your phone just works seamlessly. The Tesla Model Y has neither. It forces you to use its own system. For a lot of drivers, that alone is a huge, huge win for Ford.
All right, we've gone through the expiring credits, the refresh, all the different trims, and the competition. Now it is time to bring this all home and figure out how on earth you're supposed to make the final call.
Your decision really comes down to balancing these four things. First, there's that very real financial pressure to act before September 2025. You have to weigh that against being okay with some of the car's tech quirks. And from there, it's about picking the car that fits your personality. Are you a Select, a GT, or a Rally? All while keeping one eye on what the competition is doing.
Look, the 2026 Mach-E is an incredible EV. It looks amazing, it's practical, and it's a blast to drive. But the entire EV world is changing faster than ever. That pressure from the expiring tax credit is forcing a really tough decision, and it leaves every single potential buyer with one last critical question they have to answer for themselves.